Hi, myself, I'm R.Bhushan. Welcome to the program, The Great Bharat and the Great People. Good evening, Honorable Prime Minister Ji. This is the program for you and for the people of our nation. It will cover your per day efforts for the betterment of the nation and suggestion for you so that we can make this country more glorious in the whole world. Before starting the program, I would like to read the preamble of our constitution. हम भारत के लोग भारत को एक संपूर्ण प्रभुत्व संपन्न समाजवादी पंथ निरपेक्ष लोकतंत्रात्मक गणराज्य बनाने के लिए तथा उसके समस्त नागरिकों को सामाजिक आर्थिक और राजनीतिक न्याय विचार अभिव्यक्ति विश्वास धर्म और उपासना की स्वतंत्रता प्रतिष्ठा और अवसर की समता प्राप्त कराने के लिए तथा उन सब में व्यक्ति की गरिमा और राष्ट्र की एकता और अखंडता सुनिश्चित करने वाली बंधुता बढ़ाने के लिए दृढ़ संकल्प होकर अपनी संविधान सभा में आज तारीख 26 नवंबर 1949 ईस्वी मिति मार्गशीर्ष शुक्ला सप्तमी संवत 2006 विक्रमी कुवैत द्वारा इस संविधान को अंगीकृत अधिनियमित और आत्मर्पित करते हैं. The most important news of today's are वंदे मातरम एक्सप्रेस को आज हरी झंडी दिखाएंगे प्रधानमंत्री. भारत में विकसित देश की पहली सेमी हाई स्पीड ट्रेन वंदे मातरम एक्सप्रेस को प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी शुक्रवार को सुबह 11 बजे नई दिल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन से हरी झंडी दिखाकर रवाना करेंगे. रेल मंत्री पीयूष गोयल के अलावा रेलवे बोर्ड के सदस्य व अधिकारी तथा मीडिया कर्मी ट्रेन में सफ़र करेंगे. वाराणसी तक उद्घाटन यात्रा में आम यात्री शामिल नहीं होंगे. यात्रियों के लिए वंदे मातरम एक्सप्रेस शुरुआती ट्रेन का नियमित संचालन 17 फरवरी से होगा. 99.82% project in the forest got note. 99.82% project in forest got note. India Apex National Board of Wildlife (NBWL) charged with allowing forest land in the protected areas to be diverted for industry cleared 682 of the 687 project that came up for scrutiny. According to a response to a query in the Lok Sabha earlier this month, only 5 projects were rejected since August 2014. A wildlife expert formerly associated with NBWL described it as a clearance house from 2009 to 13. The United Progressive Alliance recommended to 260 of the 328 that came into its purview are about 80% of the project. It had deferred nearly 243 projects after 213 according to a 2017 analysis by the Center for Science and Environment. The next most important fact is heralding a new dawn. India and Saudi Arabia are now poised to dramatically deepen the bilateral relationship. In April 2016, under the leadership of custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salem, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia gave itself a goal and a promise in the form of Vision 2030. The Saudi citizen has become the focal point of sustainable development with massive projects directed towards building a vibrant society, a thriving economy and an ambitious nation. The entire foundation of our kingdom economy is being transferred towards a post-oil age with the aim of attracting $427 billion in private investment over the next decade to diversify the economy and create 1.6 million new jobs through the National Industrial Development and Logistic Programs. According to World Bank's Doing Business 2018 report, Saudi Arabia has instituted the largest number of business reforms among the countries in the Middle East and the North Africa, MENA region as one of the in July 2017 with its platform Miraj starting a business in the kingdom now requires only one step and one day. The single window platform Fasha has also been launched for the customs clearance and import and export procedure. The Doing Business 2019 report has ranked Saudi Arabia as the 4th largest reformer within G20. In 2018, Saudi Arabia saw the foreign direct investment rise by 227% year on year. Global confidence in Saudi Arabia's ascent has further solidified, with the International Monetary Fund forecasting increased growth for Saudi Arabia into July 2018. A clarion call to combat climate change. The Green New Deal acknowledges the responsibility of US for historical emission. When almost all news about climate change concern catastrophic event. There are few shipping lights in the US and the Europe. One is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, 29, the newly elected member of the U.S. House of Representatives. The other is Greta Thunberg, a 16-year-old Swede whose school strike outside the Swedish parliament in clear-minded effort to force politicians to act on the climate change has inspired students in many countries to walk out of their classroom and make similar demands. If Miss Thunberg's voice is inspiring for the way it has been used to the youth, Ms. Oshiko Cortez is daring in her imagination and policies. The Green New Deal is a four-part program for moving America quickly out of crisis into a secure, sustainable future. It takes its name from the US President Franklin Roosevelt's famous New Deal, a series of economic and social measures launched in the 1930s to end the Great Depression. The Green New Deal audaciously aspired to make sweeping changes to the environment and economy and meet all the US power demand from the clean, renewable, and zero emissions energy sources by 2030, while at the same time addressing racial and economic justice. Thus, in many ways, it's more than just a climate change plan. The Oshiko Cortez, 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 along with the Massachusetts Senator Edward Markey, introduced the resolution in the House and Senate on Feb 7. And from Science and Tech, one of the important solar cycle. What is solar cycle? This thing I have taken from Pratyogita Darpan. Every 11 years, the sun magnetic field flips because the north and south poles switch place, which marks the beginning of a new solar cycle. The solar cycle affects the activity on the surface of sun, such as sunspots. When the magnetic field lines near sunspot tangle across and recognizes it can lead an explosion of energy called a solar flare that can cripple satellite, trip electric power grids, and lead to a large-scale telecommunication breakdown. Predicating solar cycle help in the planned missions to space and in the upkeep of space-based technologies, while the peaks of some solar cycles are stronger, between 150 and 200 sunspots. There are also those weaker than average, below 100 sunspots. So these are the most important fact of today's. And Mr. Ziegler book, Top Performance, How to Develop Excellence in Yourself and Maximize Potential. So before going to bed, you have to read some powerful suggestions like I'm an honest, I'm an enthusiastic, I'm an intelligent, I'm disciplined. Do you rush to judgment? Do you rush to judgment? A family counselor once said that what most wives want is man they can look up to, but one who will not look down on them. A managers or leader team members, that exactly the same thing. Someone they can truly look up, but someone who does not look down on them. This is the goal every manager should strive for dealing with people. This next page out of my own book of life makes the point quite well. Several years ago, while on my way to a small town in Ohio for a speaking engagement, I had to stop in the Pittsburgh to make a connection. I had a little over an hour on my hands, and so as I walked toward the connecting gate, I was in no particular hurry. Two young men had a booth and were signing shoes. One of the guys was Mr. Personality, outgoing, jovial, pleasant, the kind of guy who could brighten up any party. The other was the exact opposite, somber, quite absolutely non-expressive. He was just there. I wanted the personality kid to sign my shoes, but he was still working on his customer when I arrived, and the quite young man was available, so I do no option. As I stepped up into the chair, I cheerfully greeted the young man with how you are doing. He simply looked at me as I did not exist and said absolutely nothing. I could not help but think that this behavior was certainly strange for somebody who was working with the public and who is to a large degree depended on his income for tips. However, since I am incurable optimist, I started rationalizing that in all probability I had gotten the one who was the best at what I wanted done, namely signing shoes. So dress up well, that's very important. Dress up well. So be honest, work for the world. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. God bless you. God bless India.